Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. I'm your host, the Game Master, and I'm not a voice actor. Not that anybody ever accused me of being one. Um, the reason I bring that up is I actually recorded this video once already. And afterwards, I typically listen to the recording to make sure the sound doesn't just cut out at some point or something like that, because that has happened in the past. And so I hear myself saying the Hulk's lines using my normal speaking voice, and it just sounds so weird. It just sounds wrong, and I feel like you can't say the Hulk's lines without trying to give it oomph and being a little yelly, and you know what I mean? And the same with Wolverine. Wolverine's always real growly. You don't want him to just talk the way I normally talk. So, I'm gonna redo this video. I'm going to attempt to do some character voices, and I'm telling you right now, it's probably gonna be bad. But I think that the alternative is actually worse. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation, and I'm trying to do the thing that sucks the least. This is still probably gonna kinda suck, so I apologize for that, guys. Um, I will do my best. I should also throw this out there. I'm right on the precipice of coming down with a cold. So my voice is already kind of weird. I don't know if being a little froggy, I don't know if that will help with these kinds of characters or if it will hurt me. So we'll see how it goes. Um this video, by the way, was partially inspired by The Incredible Hulk issues number 180 and 181, which were the first appearance of Wolverine. Um, but they were also inspired by a 2009 direct to DVD animated movie called Hulk Versus. And on that DVD, there were two separate stories. One was Hulk versus Thor, which didn't really do anything for me. Obviously, if you like it, more power to you. I'm never telling anybody what they can or can't like or anything like that. But the other one on that DVD was Hulk versus Wolverine, and I thought that one was awesome. It is probably my favorite version of the story, and something I liked about it was they brought in characters who had not actually been invented yet in 1974, but who retroactively were kind of shoehorned into this chapter in Wolverine's life. So, including them, I thought made the story better, and so we did the same thing then in our game. Before we get into the game, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and leave us a comment. It helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, but also we just love hearing from you guys. We've got an awesome community here, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you so much for being here. So, all that said, let's dive in. The prologue to this one takes place in 1974. The Incredible Hulk is leaping several miles at a time, and he comes to a landing in upstate New York on a farmer's wooden fence, spooking some nearby horses. The farmer yells at him, calling him a big green ape, and the Hulk yells back, calling him a puny human and shoving him away. Then Hulk jumps again, soaring several miles over the horizon. Like a great green billiard ball, the Hulk caroms aimlessly across the countryside, his awesome, powerful leg muscles carrying him further and further northward until he comes to another of his fabled clumsy landings somewhere deep in the sprawling Canadian North Woods. Hulk says to himself, "This good place, pretty trees, quiet, no puny humans." But as is so often the case, the Hulk is dead wrong. For in a top secret Royal Canadian Air Force tracking installation, the Incredible Hulk's sudden arrival north of the border has been duly detected and reported. A radar operator tells the base commander, who in turn says they have no choice but to mobilize Weapon X. Meanwhile, a pack of wolves surround the Hulk, who says, "They're big dogs in Hulk's woods." But again, the Hulk isn't quite right. These are snarling, ravenous wolves, driven south from their almost Arctic hunting grounds by too much winter and too little game. Hulk says he likes dogs, but not these dogs. So he starts pounding them. After the wolves retreat, someone uses telepathy to speak to the Hulk. He follows the voice to where a man and a woman are. And there, the Hulk sees an old enemy named Wendigo, who he attacks. Hulk and Wendigo fight using their great strength to throw each other through the forest. The Hulk beats Wendigo and then flexes, bellowing, "Hulk is strongest," which brings us to the main plot. As the Hulk loudly brags about how strong he is, Wolverine follows the sound to where the Hulk is at. Wolverine climbs up on top of a nearby rock formation and calls down to the Hulk. Wolverine growls, "If you want to tangle with someone, bub, why not try your luck against me?" And with that, we rolled initiative, and Wolverine was the faster of the two. So, as an automatic action, Wolverine jumps off of that rocky outcropping that he was standing on, and for his dice action, he uses his claws on the Hulk. TSR's Marvel Superheroes role-playing game says that the claws do monstrous damage. And when we convert that into the DC Heroes system, it is exactly 12 APs. Every round of combat, the Hulk gets stronger, but he starts round one with 12 APs of body. And if that's all Hulk had in the way of defensive capabilities, then Wolverine would take about half of his hit points in one slice. But the Hulk also has 12 APs of skin armor, which we add to his body of 12. That means Hulk's resistance value is 24 APs, which is just insane. So that means Wolverine needs to get 4 column shifts before he can even start hurting the Hulk. So that means Wolverine needs to roll a 21 or better on 2d10, which is not as impossible as it first sounds. For instance, in DC Heroes, rolling 2 1s is a critical failure. Any other time you roll the dice and get the same number twice, we call that rolling doubles, and that is a critical success. When you do that, you keep that total, then roll again, adding your new roll to your original roll. And that game mechanic means Wolverine can hurt the Hulk. And as it just so happens, Wolverine's first roll of the night is double 5s. So he gets to roll again. And then that time he rolls double 8s. So he gets to roll yet again. And on the third roll, he gets a 3 and a 2. So his grand total is 31, which according to the DC Heroes tables is 6 column shifts. So in round 1, Wolverine takes the Hulk's body down from 12 to 1, which is just wild. Now it's the Hulk's turn. So Hulk punches Wolverine as hard as he can and rolls a 7 and an 8, which is exactly what the lumbering Hulk needed to land a hit against the ninja-like Wolverine. He punches Wolverine in the jaw. And according to TSR's old Marvel role-playing game, hitting his adamantium-laced bones can cause the attacker to take typical damage from punching Wolverine. So the GM rolls, and such a piddly attack doesn't at all get through the Hulk's resistance value, 24 APs. So the Hulk takes no damage from punching Logan. And TSR also says, quote unquote, nothing can break Logan's bones. So we rule that Wolverine took no damage from that punch. But for flavor text, we reference when Wolverine fought the Punisher in the comics, and the Punisher shot Logan in his adamantium skull with a heavy machine gun. And the vibrations affected Logan's brain in such a way that it made him throw up. So we say the same thing happens here. Also, then there's the knockback damage. Wolverine weighs 3 APs. It would be 2 APs if not for the adamantium. So we subtract that 3 from Hulk's strength of 12, and we get a distance of 9 APs, which is half a mile. So the Hulk's punch sent Wolverine sailing half a mile away from the Hulk, who, by the way, is furious that he has 1 hit point left. And that is the end of round 1. Hulk and Wolverine both have regeneration. So the Hulk's body goes from 1 to 2 now. And Wolverine stops throwing up from the feeling of having his metal skull get rung like a bell. Wolverine is mad and gets to his feet and starts running towards the Hulk. The Hulk is mad, and his strength now goes up 1 column shift, which TSR's Marvel Superheroes role-playing game refers to as an adrenaline surge. His strength in that system goes from unearthly to shift X. In DC Heroes, that means he went from having a strength in the 11 to 12 AP range to now having a strength in the 13 to 15 AP range. So Wolverine moving towards the Hulk is an automatic action. And then Wolverine, who again is the faster of the two, holds action, which is sort of like Wolverine hitting the pause button on what he can do. So the Hulk jumps, which is his automatic action, and he lands right in front of Wolverine. And as the Hulk gets ready to punch Wolverine again, Wolverine stops holding action. So Wolverine slices and dices, and this time he rolls a 1 and a 3, which means that on his turn, his claws weren't able to penetrate the Hulk's dense hide. For Wolverine's last automatic action, he growls. So now, Hulk gets to go, and this time the Hulk punches Wolverine in the stomach instead of the skull. So Hulk rolls a 7 and a 10, which is a hit. Then we look at the Hulk's new strength versus Wolverine's body of 6. And Wolverine takes 9 points of damage. So Wolverine is at -3 and is knocked out. Since we're out of combat, the Hulk roars and yells, "Hulk is strongest there." Then Hulk walks away. And Wolverine regenerates. Each turn, he gets a point back until he has a body of 1 and he wakes up. So Wolverine gets to his feet, madder than ever, and rushes the Hulk using the stealth skill. Wolverine also now uses a maneuver called pushing the attack. If he rolls over an 11, it can allow him to do more damage than he normally can. So he rolls and gets a 6 and a 7, which is 1 column shift. So that means on this turn, his claws go from doing damage in the 11 to 12 AP range to doing damage in the 13 to 15 AP range, which is all right, but not great. So if Wolverine can roll an 18 or better, he can hurt the Hulk. If he gets lower than an 18 on his next attack, he won't hurt him. And Wolverine rolls a 5 and an 8, which is only 13. So even though he pushed the attack, his claws still don't puncture the Hulk on this turn. On Hulk's turn, he tries to hit Wolverine, but he only rolls an 11. It hits because not only does the Hulk's strength go up, his fighting skill does too. So Wolverine's body is taken down to -8. And since he normally has a body of 6, -6 is considered death. So Hulk wins and thinks that Wolverine is permanently dead. And with that, the Hulk jumps away from the area where the battle took place. Which brings us to the epilogue. Wolverine wakes up in one of Department H's underground bunkers within a glass tank full of liquid with an oxygen mask over his mouth. Logan wakes up and pops his claws, slicing through the glass, getting liquid all over the grating. There's another tank here labeled X-23, and it contains a fetus. Wolverine sees it and has no idea what's going on here and decides to leave. And of course, that's not the last we'll see of X-23. That's a story for another day. We enjoyed playing this one. We hope you enjoyed hearing about it. If so, as always, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and leave us a comment. From all of us here at the longest running superhero role-playing game on Earth, we hope you have a good one, and we'll see you in the next adventure.